Last episode, you saw the Nailhead go in this truck to get rebuilt. In this episode, it's back in the car and better than ever, and we get it on the dyno. Quick recap if this is your first time tuning in. I paid a lot of money to a supposed expert to rebuild my Buick engine. Ever since I got it back, however, it smoked like it was a steam locomotive. I went down the path with the builder to try to get it right. I shipped him the driver's side head. He blamed fuel and ignition, even though Tom Telesco rebuilt the carburetor twice, the second time for free. The builder was the one who put the electronic ignition in the first time. Tom Telesco rebuilt and recurved the distributor after the ignition was blamed. No change. So Chet Honeycutt came to the rescue to take a look at the 2,000-mile Nailhead, and the results were not good. We found metal in the pan. We found trash on the oil pickup. We found connecting rod bearings that looked terrible. Once I sent all these pictures to my original builder, he gave me the usual catchphrase of "call me," but every time I did, I got this message.
David Gaines is not available. The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages.
Seems like he didn't want to take my phone calls once he figured out it would get expensive. So off the engine went to beautiful Leeds, Alabama to get rebuilt by Advantage Engine Restoration. I knew it was at the right place because they had a Nailhead in the lobby. While they rebuilt the engine, I had a passenger side head that needed to be disassembled so it could be cleaned. Look at all the gunk on these valves. It took multiple soakings and lots of scraping to get them back to looking new. I paid the original builder to put valve seals on this engine as an upgrade that he recommended. Check this out. You see how they fit really tight right here and really loose right here? That's because the machine work was so poor that he had to put glue on them to hold them on here. Since they weren't factory and they shouldn't have been on the exhaust ports anyway, they were left off when I reassembled the head. In just 4 short months, I got word that the Nailhead was ready to be picked up, and it was forklift in the back of the Tacoma to start its journey home. I got the Nailhead home safely and unloaded. Now I want to answer the hard questions. What happened and how much did it cost? What happened? These Nailheads have a special size of oil gallery plugs in the front of the block. You can get this special size off eBay for about $20, but some builders take pipe plugs and make them fit and they tap the block. That's what my builder did. Unfortunately, he left them too long. The whole time the engine was being broken in, that pipe plug was touching the cam gear and metal shavings were going throughout the engine. Even with a good oil filter, that caused every precision surface in that engine to have to be machined along with new cam bearings, crank bearings, and piston rings. That machine work, along with the money that it cost to ship the head to David and buying some tools that I'll likely never use again, came to about $2,500 of cost as a direct causation of his negligence. Now, when the engine's out of the car, we have some incidentals. We're going to have to put oil in it. We're going to have to put new coolant in it. We're going to have to paint it. We're going to have to put plugs in it. It's going to get a new thermostat. Excluding dress-up parts, like a thermostat housing and stainless steel fasteners, that was $700. So all in, I'm at $3,200 for an engine that was supposed to be guaranteed for everything except leaks. Now, I'm going to move this truck out of the way and join me while I turn this short block into a long block into a turnkey engine. I'm going to get the cylinder heads installed now. You see, I've got the engine sitting on a pallet that's on my engine hoist. The reason for that is I want to check the balancer bolt to make sure it's at 220 foot-pounds. I find that easier to do on a more stable surface than an engine stand. Now you see before you, there are Felpro head gaskets on. A lot of people say they have leaks with them. I'm hoping to not have leaks, but that decision was made for me when I dropped my best brand gaskets and I tore up the edges of them. So let's get these cylinder heads on. Now it's time to get the lifters back in the car. These are arranged exactly in the order that they came out of the car. I had my ASC certified mechanic take a look at these and said that they were all fine to be put in with the camshaft that came out of the car. So I'm going to get them installed. Next, I put in the push rods. Then I put in the rocker arms. There's an oil shield that goes in to keep oil vapor from getting directly into the positive crankcase ventilation. Now the push rods that I'm putting in are adjustable push rods. The original ones my builder put in, they had the wrong size tip on them. So these are adjustable push rods from Centerville. It has been a really long road to get back to this point of getting this engine in that car. Now, when I had it down on the pallet, I went ahead and that's where I installed the flex plate. To find out which side of the flex plate goes against the crank, I look for the side that's been in contact with the crankshaft. There's an alignment hole. Once you've got the side correct, align it with the same hole in the crank. I'm using orange Loctite. It's got the strength of red but can be removed like blue on the flex plate bolts. Preparation for painting was knocking off all of the loose paint. Then I followed it up with Scotch-Brite to scuff. Then I used Eastwood pre-paint prep to make sure there was no wax, oils, anything like that on the surface. Next, I'm using Bill Hirsch engine enamel to give it this super glossy look. I want to show you some colors that others use to paint nail heads. The first thing that we've got here is a Detroit Diesel Alpine Green. I don't really like it. It looks a little too light. The next, we have got paint made by a Buick vendor. They may not make this paint anymore, but I did want to show you a sample for the color variation. After that, this is the Bill Hirsch. That's what I painted my engine in this time. And then we have the Ford Green, and that's what I painted the engine in before. So now my buddy Tim is going to help me get the engine in the car. Let's go. With the engine in the car, the first thing I'm going to do is prime the oil. I've made a tool out of a screwdriver that will go down and turn the oil pump. It's made to chuck into any half-inch drill. This will let us see that oil comes out of the rocker shafts and that we're building oil pressure, and we know that we can go ahead and put the rest of the engine together and crank it up and not have issues. With the engine now dressed, I'm to the point where I can start this thing. The last step that I'm going to do is static time the engine, get the engine ready to start. And static timing just means you're setting the timing when the engine's off. So I'm going to pull the valve cover on the passenger side. That's where the number one cylinder is. I'm going to get that piston nearly to top dead center. Both the valves are closed. And then I'm going to put the distributor in with the rotor facing number one. So it'll be going this direction. I'm going to prime the engine with my electric fuel pump, and then I should be able to start it. Not expect it to fire up that easy. Listen to how good this sounds. It's been 2 months and it's a great day today because we are going to put this thing on the dyno. Now Buick originally said that in 1964 these cars with the 401 made 325 horsepower at the crankshaft. Now this car is nearly 60. It's still got the factory transmission, never been rebuilt. I don't think we'll be near that number, but it'll be interesting to see. Since the rebuild, I've got the engine all broken in. The only problems that I had a tiny coolant leak. That was solved with a General Motors coolant tablet. Put that in there, single one, no problem. And I also found that when I had that blowout a year ago, that my aluminum front drum on the passenger side got bent. So I got new ones on from a place in Illinois that actually relines aluminum drums. So let's get this thing on the rollers and let's see what it does.
Horsepower and 306 foot-pounds of torque.
First pull, 203 horsepower, 306 foot-pounds of torque at 78 miles an hour. Horsepower, 303 foot-pounds of torque at 110 miles an hour. The average of those two means I'm over 200 horsepower, and I'm fine with that. There's one on YouTube that's doing 261 with two 4-barrel carburetors and a 425, so for a 401, getting over 200 horsepower, I am happy with that. I'm sure others know what I'm talking about, but it is just a great feeling to have a car that didn't run, put it all back together, and be able to rock and roll with it. Took a lot of time to get here, took a lot of money to get here, but oh, it feels so good. Hey, thank you for watching. Tune in next time. Frank is my neighbor's donkey. People love him. With the engine all dressed out.
Come here. Come here. This is a screen test with a schnauzer. A schnauzer does a very good screen test. Oh, look at the camera. You're famous. Not famous? Who knows?
Oh my gosh. You do not get luckier than that twice a day.